Some guns don't need hype. They speak for themselves after the first magazine. I've seen handguns ride in glove boxes for years, shotguns bounce around in farm trucks, and budget pistols get dragged through hell without missing a beat. The price tag never mattered. What mattered was simple. Does it run? And does it keep running? Over time, a pattern started showing up. A handful of firearms, all priced under $500, kept showing up on the line, in the field, and beside real folks who don't treat gear like jewelry. These weren't collector pieces. These were the guns that stayed close when everything else turned to chaos, dark rooms, slammed doors, and the kind of noise that makes your heart race. I've carried some of these through cold mornings and long nights. Others I've seen run hard in worse hands than mine and still cycle clean. Each one earned its spot the old-fashioned way, by showing up, holding up, and firing true when it counted. You won't find safe queens here. Just hard-use steel with a job to do. Back in the early days of budget, carry pistols getting serious attention. The SD9VE made a quiet entrance and earned a loyal following. This gun came out swinging with full-size dimensions, a 16+1 capacity, and a simple, clean layout. It may look like a stripped-down cousin of the M&P line, but it brings its own strengths to the table in real-world use. I've seen this pistol ride thousands of rounds without cracking under pressure. The trigger has always been a point of debate among shooters. But the truth is, once you learn its rhythm, it behaves with solid consistency. The trigger feels deliberate and honest. It tracks clean through the pull, settles with a firm break, and keeps the sight steady without wandering. There's weight in the press, but it builds with clarity, not confusion. What makes the SD9VE stick out to me is its raw usability. It eats cheap ammo like a champ, cycles clean, and field strips without a fight. It's been a range companion, a truck gun, a home defense standby. The polymer frame keeps it light, while the stainless steel slide gives it a bit of presence. Magazines are easy to find, holsters are everywhere, and aftermarket upgrades exist if you want to tune it. But even in factory form, this pistol shows up ready for work. This pistol wears its purpose plainly. It works hard, holds zero drama, and settles into your grip like it knows why it's there. Every range trip just confirms what it was designed to do. Stay ready. Stay honest. There's something refreshing about a pistol that knows exactly what job it's meant to do. The SCCY CPX-2 Gen 3 walks that line with confidence. It's a compact, hammer-fired, double-action only 9mm that's purpose-built for everyday carry and close-quarters practicality. Everything about the design feels intentional. No wasted motion, no extra parts trying to impress anyone. It cycles, fires, and resets with clean purpose. The Gen 3 update brought a few smart tweaks, most notably a reworked trigger that feels cleaner and more predictable. The trigger has a steady pull with just enough resistance to stay deliberate. At close range, it delivers consistent shots without throwing off your pace or grip. The longer, deliberate pull adds a layer of safety, especially for folks carrying without a manual safety lever. One of the most impressive things about this pistol is its ability to stay controllable despite its size. The grip has just enough contour and texture to stay planted, even when hands get sweaty or adrenaline kicks in. The recoil is snappy, sure, but manageable with practice. This pistol responds best to focused hands. It sharpens your fundamentals: press timing, wrist tension, and pressure control with every pull. Its lightweight makes it disappear inside a waistband or pocket holster. It's a gun you forget you're carrying until the moment you need it. That's the point. Backed by a solid no BS lifetime warranty, the CPX-2 Gen 3 comes out of the box ready to roll without begging for aftermarket upgrades. For deep concealment on a budget, this one punches far above what most people expect from a gun in this class. No list of proven firearms ever feels complete without the Ruger 1022. This rimfire rifle has been around for decades and continues to earn its place in gun safes, range bags, and hunting cabins across the country. The Ruger 1022 earns its place with decades of steady performance. It works as a first rifle, a field companion, or a foundation for builds that suit any shooting style. What sets the 1022 apart is the balance it strikes between simplicity and capability. The rotary magazine feeds 22 LR ammo smoothly. The action stays reliable, even when it's been ignored longer than it should. The barrel keeps its accuracy across thousands of rounds, even cheap bulk packs. It's a rifle that seems to welcome neglect and still rewards the shooter with solid performance. I've put more rounds through a 10-22 than I can count. It's been the rifle I hand to new shooters, the one I grab for varmint duty, and the one I plink steel with on slow afternoons. Its modular nature means you can build it up into a tactical trainer, a lightweight squirrel getter, or a bench rest paper puncher. Even out of the box, the 10-22 runs clean. The sights are usable, the trigger's better than you'd expect for the price, and the controls are simple. Parts are everywhere, and support from the shooting community never seems to dry up. For a rifle under $500, this one pulls triple duty without flinching. The first time I ran a Maverick 88, it was in the backwoods with birdshot, busted clay, and a box of shells that had been riding around in the trunk for months. Didn't matter. That shotgun ran smooth through every shell I gave it. The pump action locked up firm, cycled clean, and kept rhythm like it belonged in a fight. The Maverick 88 brings pump action reliability with a price tag that most folks can handle without skipping groceries. It's built on the same action as the Mossberg 500, which means it shares a ton of parts and aftermarket support. The main difference is in the controls crossbolt safety instead of tang, but functionally. This thing stands in the same ring. It chambers 12 gauge, runs 5+1 capacity, and eats everything from bird to buck to slug. The action carries a work-ready finish with no wasted motion. It chambers with authority and seats every round like it's made for business. The forearm has some play, but it never once caused a failure. With a little muscle memory, this shotgun cycles smoother than you'd expect from its bracket. The synthetic furniture is basic and tough. Sights are serviceable, and the recoil pad is honest, not fancy, just there to do the job. The receiver's drilled if you want to run an optic, but honestly, bead sights and instinct will handle most of what this gun faces. It fits into any role without needing special treatment, whether riding in a truck, staged beside a bed, or leaned near a cabin door. It stays ready. If it picks up a scratch or soaks in the rain, it wipes clean and goes back to work like nothing happened. Some handguns come into the market with a roar. Others just get handed around until everyone quietly admits they're worth keeping. The Ruger Security 9 falls into that second camp. It's a no-nonsense full-size pistol chambered in 9mm with 15+1 capacity and controls that feel familiar right out of the box. The Security 9 uses a hammer-fired system tucked inside what feels like a striker-fired frame. That gives it a unique action with a crisp break and a clean reset, even if the trigger face feels a little skinny. The slide runs light, the sights are simple, and the grip texture holds firm without chewing up your hands. This pistol handles well at speed. It points naturally, tracks targets without wandering, and stays consistent over long strings of fire. Recoil stays manageable, even for newer shooters. And when you open it up for cleaning, the internals make sense, nothing too finicky or odd to deal with. Magazines are affordable and reliable. Holsters are easy to find, and the aftermarket keeps growing. It wears a hard-coat anodized aluminum chassis inside the polymer frame, giving it backbone without weight. I've seen this gun run on cheap brass and steel alike without getting temperamental. This pistol earns respect where it matters most on the firing line, during long drills, and in the hands of shooters who put in real work. It keeps showing up in gear bags, gets cleaned,
they're a little bit easier to shoot. So
and carried again
if
for
I'm
a
wearing
reason
clothes that I
need explaining. Concealed carry changed the handgun market forever, and the M&P Shield helped lead that charge. This single-stack 9mm built its name on reliability, compact design, and shootability in a small frame. It holds 7 or 8 rounds depending on the mag, and it tucks away cleaner than most pistols in its class. The Shield runs with a short, crisp trigger and a reset that's easy to catch under pressure. The grip is slim, but the contouring gives enough purchase to stay planted in the hand during fast strings. The recoil impulse is snappy, as expected from something this size, but it doesn't punish the shooter. Instead, it challenges you to stay sharp. This pistol comes with steel sights, a no-nonsense takedown system, and internals that stand up to high round counts without crying out for maintenance. It works well with standard pressure or +P loads and cycles reliably with most brands of hollow point. That makes it more than just a backup. It's a carry piece you can trust in the lead role. For deep concealment, daily carry, or minimal print clothing setups, the Shield checks every box without overreaching. It's slim, dependable, and tough enough to stay in rotation year after year. Plenty of cops, civilians, and instructors have carried this thing day in, day out. Not because they had to, because it earned its place. And when a pistol hangs around that long in holsters across the country, that says enough without a single word spoken. Some guns come out of the gate swinging harder than expected, and the Dagger Compact from Palmetto State Armory did just that. This pistol shook up the budget market the day it dropped. Chambered in 9mm, built to Glock 19 specs, and priced way below what you'd guess from just handling it. The Dagger hit a nerve and kept hitting steel. It uses a polymer frame with aggressive grip texturing, a stainless slide with a nitride finish, and it takes standard Glock mags without a hitch. The trigger has a clean break with a short, positive reset. The sights vary by model, but most come with steel 3-dot or blackout rear, and they do the job without distraction. This gun feels familiar right away. Anyone who's spent time on a Glock will find the muscle memory lines up clean. But it's not a clone in the lazy sense. This thing has its own attitude. The slide cuts, stippling, and trigger geometry give it a sharper edge. It's built to run hard, clean easy, and mod out without guesswork. PSA nailed the formula here. Reliable parts, wide compatibility, and a finish that holds up through heavy carry. At the range, it prints tight and stays flat. In the holster, it rides easy. And if you ever want to build around it, the options are almost endless. The Dagger Compact didn't just land in the market. It stepped up and forced everyone to take budget guns seriously. That alone earns it a place near the top. There's something to be said for a company that keeps grinding, keeps improving, and finally gets it right. The G3C is Taurus pulling everything together into a pistol that feels dialed in from the first rack. Compact, chambered in 9mm, and packing 12+1 capacity. It finds a balance that speaks to real shooters, not spreadsheet readers. The frame has aggressive but usable grip texture. The slide serrations are cut deep and grab easy, even with slick hands. The steel sights are plain but effective, and the trigger well. This is where things turn. Taurus gave this gun a striker-fired trigger that actually feels thought out. The break is crisp, and the reset is tight. It tracks fast when you get in rhythm. The G3C runs reliably with a wide spread of ammunition, from bargain bulk packs to defensive hollow points. It isn't picky. The slide rides smooth, the recoil impulse is easy to control, and the gun stays consistent over long sessions. Cleaning is straightforward, and wear points hold up well under use. One of the big wins here is how it carries. Slim enough for concealment, but full enough in the hand to fight with confidence. Magazines drop free, reloads click in solid, and holster options have finally caught up. It's built for real use, not just sales racks. Taurus built a winner here, not by copying, but by learning from earlier missteps and tightening the screws where it counted. The G3C puts performance, price, and practicality in the same lane and keeps them moving forward. The first time I ran the Canik TP9 Elite SC, the trigger told me everything I needed to know. This pistol delivers with sharp mechanics, smart design, and performance that lands it right alongside the heavy hitters. Built in Turkey, chambered in 9mm, and tuned with precision right out of the box. This subcompact holds a real edge in the carry market. It comes standard with a crisp trigger that rivals much more expensive handguns. There's a defined wall, a clean break, and a reset that's tactile and audible. That makes follow-up shots sharp and predictable. It carries 12+1 with the flush mag, or 15+1 with the extended. Either way, it doesn't feel cramped. Ergonomics are dialed. The stippling hits that balance between grip and comfort. The slide has forward serrations, optics-ready cuts, and metal sights that are actually usable. There's real care in the machining. Every edge is clean. Nothing feels rushed or slapped together. The finish holds up, even after range time, holster draw drills, and carry rotations. On the line, it runs with the big boys. The recoil impulse is soft for its size, and the balance stays centered during rapid fire. Stripping it down for cleaning is intuitive, and it eats a steady diet of FMJ and JHP without breaking stride. Canik didn't just hit the mark with the TP9 Elite SC, they raised expectations for what a subcompact pistol can deliver straight from the factory. It's a serious tool that runs clean, shoots flat, and carries like it belongs close to your belt every damn day. But there's one gun that's been earning trust longer than most have been shooting. And now, time to bring out the one pistol that's earned its stripes in every corner of the gun world. Now we've reached the pistol that built its name on field wear, repetition, and results. It earned its reputation one magazine at a time, in real-world hands and under real pressure. The Glock 19 doesn't show up to impress. It shows up to work. Built around a 4.02-inch barrel, 15+1 capacity, and that unmistakable blocky profile. This pistol has built a reputation on one thing: function. That's why departments ran it. Veterans keep it in their holsters because they've run it hard and trust the outcome. Trade-in models barely touch the shelf before another shooter grabs one and puts it straight back to work. Used Glock 919s, especially law enforcement trade-ins, usually come with honest wear and tight internals. Holster marks on the slide, finish rubbed from years of draw drills, maybe a scratch or two on the frame. None of it matters when the thing cycles clean and shoots straight. The heart of the pistol, its barrel. Slide fit. Trigger group often runs as smooth as day one. The controls line up with your grip. Your thumb finds the mag release without searching, and slide manipulation stays clean even under stress. The factory sights might be plain, but they align fast and track naturally. The trigger press is predictable, with a reset that's earned its own reputation. You know when it's ready, and the follow-up lands right where it should. Aftermarket options flood the market. For every part, springs, barrels, sights, internals. There's a line of suppliers ready to feed the build. Gear fits, spares are cheap, and nothing stays out of reach for long. That means this pistol can grow with you. Train harder, upgrade later, or leave it stock and let it ride. The Glock 19 stays reliable either way. Plenty of guns run well, some run great. But when one model keeps showing up in real-world hands year after year, across every kind of shooter and scenario, you pay attention. This one didn't just earn its place, it keeps proving why it stays there. Some guns earn their way through fancy machining and marketing dollars. Others show up in beat-up holsters, old nylon slings, or glove boxes that haven't seen sunlight in a decade, and they still run without flinching. The list we just walked through isn't built on theory, opinion polls, or hype. It's made of tools that hold up to time, sweat, carbon, and use. Each one brings something real to the table. You've got shotguns built for ugly weather, pistols that cycle steel case like it's nothing, and rifles that teach shooters generation after generation. The price tags stay low, but the track records stay strong. That's what matters when the gear leaves the bench and lives in the real world. No matter what your setup looks like, whether you carry daily, stash something close for home defense, or just want a range companion that won't let you down, there's a gun on this list with your name on it. That's it for today. Gents, stick around and see what we dive into next. If you've got an idea worth exploring, drop it in the comments. I'll turn it into a full-on video if it's got the grit. Let's keep the conversation rolling.